started. Anybody else can catch up. So I've done one of these before. So there is one, it should be on YouTube, but good refresher. And this will be good for you, like I said, to Asia, because you're new and to set up your stuff and at least get this part of it rolling. Most of it is pretty plug and play, but there's a couple of things you have to do before to make sure that it is feeding in the correct information. And there's one other thing you can do that I'm going to show you how to do so that it always also corresponds with your Facebook post. All right. So anyway, obviously we go through Bold Trail for our CRM. Thank you, Coastal Town, for providing this for us. And what it does is it gives us this really cool, clean website. It is most of the templates, the free ones anyway, are scrolling one pagers, but you can add other pages. And I'm going to show you, I do have a couple of, well, I have one active that I use to direct when I'm farming and marketing and in some of my mailers. It gives them a link to kind of a hidden page. You don't really see it here, but the QR code goes to a landing page to capture their information. But anyway, so how you're going to go about setting all this up and getting you going. I'll show you how to pull in your testimonials because that's a little bit tricky depending on where your testimonials are coming from. Your listings are going to show up and just random listings as well. You get to choose all about this stuff. You'll be able to put in your bio and any areas that we cover. Some of this is pulled from our parent page, which is coastaltown.com. So you will have the option to kind of tweak it as you want. Let me move this box out of the way. You guys don't see this box, but it is in my way. There we go. So the first thing you want to do is not to go straight into here, as you would think. You actually want to go into your profile settings. So I have uploaded a headshot. If you have not, you just kind of look like a little ghost head, just a little blank face. But what you want to do is go into my profile and kind of set this part up first. You want to upload your headshot. You would click on edit profile. Then you can upload the headshot. You want to put in your MLS IDs. If you are in multiple MLSs, you want to make sure that you put all of them in. Now, here's the thing. So this one number here is my RAIN ID. This one down here is my North Carolina ID. This one here, this 9274, that is the firm ID. You want to put that in. 9275 is actually for property management, so you guys won't be using that one, but this 9274. You need to make sure this goes in. You would put your RAIN ID, comma, 9274. This is what links all of our company-wide listings to your information. So go in and add all of your contact information, the office number. I believe that one automatically populates in there, but put it in if it doesn't. You want to put in your email address. This is the email address that Bold Trail creates for you. So that should already be populated in there. That is just for the automatic mailers, any responses to people. It's so it links up to your CRM. So you can leave that one there. Name, you got your web site. Usually it's just your first name your first and last name .coastaltown.com. If you've linked up with any of our lenders, they're going to show up here. If you haven't, you can choose one of them. I believe Kraken and Bill are in there. If you have any designations, you can add them as well. I have the MRP designation. I also have another one, but I need to add it in there. But you add them, just make sure all your stuff is in there because this is all going to feed into everything you do, including posts, including your website. This is your base. This is where you start. All of your social media needs to go in here. Again, having this in here means this is where it's going to post to. So I've got it going into Facebook. I've got it going into LinkedIn. I've got it I've got it hooked up to Instagram, but it doesn't auto post to Instagram. So that you have to do manually just because of the way Instagram has their posting criteria. If you have Twitter, please put that in. If you have a YouTube channel or a Pinterest, put that in. Any languages you speak, I believe that asks that as well. I'm going to hit the edit so you can see what it looks like when you hit edit. Make sure we're looking at the right thing. Yeah, position, spoken languages. All of these, or you just start typing, you can search. Your bio, if you're having a hard time, I'm going to tell you right now, if you haven't updated your bio recently, please, you need to do it. You need to do it again. Refresh it. If it's from 5-10 years ago, please refresh it. But I use Chat GPT to kind of help me with mine. I wanted to try a kind of more friendlier, comical bio. So I have that feeding into here just to kind of see if anybody even notices. I mean, some people read the bios, some people don't. So, but I have that in here. Please use Chat GPT if you need help. Y'all know where I am. Just call me. Create a signature. This is going to be sent out to any of your emails that you have. And then for texting or SMS signature, you need to put something in there as well. So we can always announce ourselves. If you have any credentials, background, education, experience that you want to brag about, add to achievements, community involvement. If you're heavy in the community, you volunteer a lot, you want to put all that in here. Once you have filled all this out, you actually make sure you save. And sometimes you have to click this button a couple times. Nothing I can do about that. I just had to click it. Okay, that time it was once. First time. Okay, that time it was twice. Anyway, so make sure you save it all. So like I said, you want your RAIN ID, you want 9274. Very important that you have those both in there. Or your website, your posts, nothing is going to feed from the MLS. Oh, your NERDS ID, the NAR ID. I call it NERDS. But NAR. You can also edit some little things over here. Doesn't really affect your website much. The office should already be filled in for you because you're part of Coastal Town. Appointment availability, that you want to edit because somebody, if you turn on that feature in the website, when I show you how to do that, you want to make sure you have whatever hours you're going to be available. That works for your schedule. You can also set vacations if you're going out of town for any period of time. So once you get all that, again, very important first step because none of the other stuff is going to carry over without this. But once you get all that, then you can go into the left-hand column, the Web and IDX tab. And it is going to literally be just fill in the blanks, plug and play. If you tweak it, just know that you may have to refresh, look at it, make sure it's doing what you do, especially if you're not sure what each feature does. Also know that Bold Trail has this little right-hand corner little button that you can reach out to support at any time. You can chat with them. You can go into your messages. They did start using this AI support thing. I've seen it in action a little bit. It's okay. But you can still eventually reach a person if you need to, but you do, feel free to use that chat feature. They're always usually very easy to get back to you, and it kind of saves it almost like an email. So it's always there. You can go back and reference it. I think it's saved forever, but that's a good question. Let me see. It's been a while since I've had to reach out to them. Yeah. I mean, it's saving all of this stuff. Saving everything from the entire time that we've used it. So you can always go back and reference. Okay, the search bar right here is if you have already set it up, you know what you're doing, you're looking for a specific thing. But just to show you the windows, so you're going to have this main one where it says website settings, that tab is going to be where your general settings are located. This is probably where most of us are going to start. You're going to start with the layout, the look, the theme. Managers, once you have already set it up, then you can go in and manage individual pages, which we will get to that, and then pages as well, site content. If you want to do a blog, you can do that. That is where you would add your blog links or articles or, you know, whatever you want to do. Embeds, widgets, import WP blog, and this editor are for more experienced people. So if you have somebody helping you with your website that is more experienced with building, go for it. But well, I guess the widgets, we're going to go over a few of those. But this other stuff is a little bit for a more in-depth, sophisticated. You can also ask Bold Trail to help. I do think that they do a charge for add-ons for certain things, especially with assistance with building your website. They will answer these general questions for this kind of stuff right here. But if you want something a little more specific, that may be like a consultation or add-on, just depending on what your need is. But anyway, so general, these little tabs will take you to, under website settings, it will take you to each section, right? So where we typically start is going to be the layout. How do you want your layout? And they do provide a lot of free layouts included in our package that we have. So this is no charge to you. I like Champion. I think it's clean. I tried these other ones. The other one I really tried was Hero. It's just your personal preference. It needs to go along with your brand. These two are very similar. I think the only difference is some fonts and they're almost identical. But Champion was my favorite. But if you want to do anything different, you also have the option to pay them for premium websites. I'm not going to go into the premium and paid content because obviously we want to tell you what is already at your disposal, what is free, what is already included in what Coastal Town gives you. If you want to look into add-ons and change it up a little bit, that's going to be on you guys. Reach out to Bold Trail, you know. But the premium ones, they look nice. They're different than the regular templates, but I do think these are very clean. They're very easy to use, and they're not hard for people to look at. And they're not too complicated either. It's just a one-page scroll and all the information is there. So pick your template. You can also change the primary color for your template. They have lots of different options here, which will change to a different theme. I believe they changed like the fonts and things, but you just have to refresh it and see. I went with the deep blue, my personal preference. So background image selector, and I'm gonna, let's see, I can't, this box drives me crazy. Okay. Yeah, see like the background here, that's what it's going to change. So I've got the deep blue, which really I have so much on my website. It's hard to kind of see, but you'll see it like this little button here says more options. This little button here, or in between the different widgets that I have on here is going to be that deep blue. So that's what it's going to change on these templates. So you kind of understand what that does. Then you have the background image selector. That's going to be this image here that goes on the header, right? They have some nice stock photos. I have it to where I've selected a few. It kind of alternates between those few. We live in Virginia Beach, so I went more of the beachy pictures. But they do have some city vibes. They've got suburban, I guess is what you would call that. So there's different options to choose from. You also have the option of uploading your own. Now, there's a lot of pictures of people, and I'm just going to advise you, I stay away from people in images. Got fair housing to think about. So here's a little woodsy kind of thing, little mountain vibes. So depending on what areas you cover, what theme you want to go. I mean, that's cool spring one. It's spring. Maybe you want to add that in there. But they have a lot of pictures. They've actually added more pictures since last time I looked at this. Got some interior photos. And again, you can customize and add your own, but you can see there's tons, and you can select multiple so that it kind of randomly rotates around every time somebody goes to your website. That's it. And here's where you would upload your own background image if you wanted to use your own. Say you've got a really great listing photo that you have permission to use. Or you've gone in Canva and you've created your own kind of background image. You can always upload it here as well. If you have any branded stuff, Nicki Minaj have a team, so theirs is going to look a little different. They might change that image to more of a team type image. But you can upload that there. Just note the size, 1600 by 650. If you don't do the right size when you're creating these, it's going to stretch and alter and skew it, and it's not going to look that good. So just keep that in mind. You want to pay attention to formatting for these images to upload if you just decide to use your own. Now, please either throw it in the chat or speak. Am I going too fast through all this, or are you guys kind of able to catch up so far? Or if there's any questions. Cool. I told you, it's plug and play. Some people are intimidated by this kind of stuff, but it is really easy. You can make it overcomplicated. When you start adding this kind of stuff, it's going to complicate it a little bit. You have to know a little bit of technical skills, but again, we've got Bold Trail here. They can help you. You guys know you can call me. Some agents do have secondary logos. Obviously, you need to make sure, Thomasina's looked at it, approves it. But if you've created your own logo for your own personal brand, those can be uploaded as well. Hides the resources tab on the navigation bar. Okay, so let me move this box again. I wish I could see this box. It's so frustrating. All right, so resources here is just going to say contact. I don't know it's going to do live, but what it's going to do is I'm going to try to refresh here. It may take some minutes. Sometimes it takes 15 or 20 minutes for your changes to reflect. So our resources, it kind of links to the parent page. They can ask about a lending partner. They can ask an agent. I hide it because I want people to contact me. I'm selfish like that. I want people to contact me directly. But you can choose options to hide any of the parent page stuff that you don't want. Hide core home. Let me see if I can pull this up. Because mine is actually, let me refresh it again. I believe it's fed in from one of these. I can't remember which one that core home is now. I'll have to Google that and make sure, but core home is one of the other things. I have it on there. Web content accessibility guidelines. You can hide it, but I mean, when you're advertising publicly, you have to make sure the web content accessibility content is actually there. So if people hover over an image, it gives you like a print, it tells you what the image is about. You can hide the office address in the footer if you would like to. I choose to leave that one on. You can hide the print flyer button from listing pages. So when, they click on one of your listings, Let's go with that one. You've got these buttons here. They can print the flyer directly from your website page. And this is what it looks like. If you don't like that, or you have your own flyer, or there's a reason why you don't want them to print this flyer, it's a very nice flyer. You can turn that off. So again, you can customize it all the way you want to. All right. Use limited listing. Like I keep all these off. Why do you want to limit what we can advertise out there? Limits any listing labels from the listings except for open house, just listed, sold, exclusive, and coming soon labels, which we'll have soon. I don't know, leave it on. Why not? Force lead registration. Now, this is where you're probably going to annoy some people. So like when it auto posts to your Facebook that a new listing has just appeared within our firm or there was a price reduction. When they click on that link, they're going to have to, I can't remember the default is 1 or 3. I leave it at 3. You're allowed 3 peeks on my website before you need to tell me who you are and what you're doing, fishing around, right? The name of the game is to get the leads from the website. So eventually they're going to have to give you their contact information. I do allow them 3 properties, 3 views before they have to register. Some people have turned this on the first view, you got to register. That might annoy some people, especially if they're just curious and taking a peek. So I don't know. I find it's okay with 3. I don't get too much craziness. But you can do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can go up to 10. That's a lot of views before you ask somebody for their information. But I feel like 3 is fair. Got to pay to play, right? Mandate the phone number. They have to put in a phone number during registration. I go with Bold Trail's recommendation to keep this as no, because one, some people, they're nosy and they're not serious. They just want to take a peek. They're more comfortable putting their email address in. Plus you have do not call laws, things like that. Then they do have to opt in, obviously, but I do follow the recommendation here. You guys do what you feel comfortable. I do ask their name. They have to fill out their name. They can't just give me anything. Website title changes the title of the website when it appears in the browser tab and when sharing. So that is going to be, let me go back to, property. Let me go back to, see up here on the tab, your coastal dream starts now. Create whatever tagline you want. I just went with that one. I think that's the same one that's in our parent page, which is the main coastal page. You can do whatever you want with it. If you have a tagline, you can put it in there, save it, but it's going to show up here and it's going to show up when you send somebody, like you share the website by text, it'll show up on the little preview that comes through on the text message. Homepage meta description. I believe Bold Trail set this one up. Using our coastal town tagline. So you have to describe the website for Google or Facebook. I just use the parent company. Ask for the unit number. Obviously, with all the condos and things we have here, you want to make sure you ask for a unit number. Recruiting tax. This comes from the parent page. We don't really change that. That's what is on our coastal town page for recruiting. Custom header, that again comes from the coastal town. Custom body code. This is where it gets into a more in-depth, if you understand code, website coding, then there's things you can do there. If you've hired somebody, that's where they do that. This is required. You cannot change the footer code. Don't change it. That is what we require. Conversation code, again, that's more in-depth. We don't need that custom chat widget. Again, we just have this pulled. This is the Bold Trail number that goes through our Bold Trail CRM. So if they're on your website, even though we all have the same number, it's only going to go to you, if that makes sense. It's going to show up in your dashboard as a contact, or you'll get the notification if you use the Bold Trail app. Facebook username for chat. They can connect through the messenger on that one. We don't have additional office addresses. We have to put our compliance, the actual office number on everything. And we also have to put the email address. Again, this should all feed in. You don't need to change this stuff. It should already be there from the parent company. It's not going to change. Some of this just gets fed in. We need to stay compliant, so I wouldn't change any of those. Require lead capture, require login. So they would have to log in order to get a valuation. Some people turn this on. I get it. Some people leave it off. I have it off right now. I'm still kind of gauging where I want to be with that. Do I want to make them create an account before they can get the valuation, or do I want to give them the valuation? I'm also playing with, Rebecca got me turned on to list reports. So I kind of sign people up for their valuation lately. I've had my homeowners sign up there. Either way you go, you can do it. So here's the thing. If they sign up through your website, you turn this on where it makes them register, they're going to automatically be pulled in as a contact on your CRM, which is very handy. So, Zillow review testimonials. I can't even get into my Zillow page. That's a battle I've been dealing with for a while now, but you can import your reviews from Zillow. Rebecca, I believe you have a lot. You want to make sure that's connected.
Yeah, connected.
Yeah. You want to make sure that those are imported. Zillow doesn't care about me, so they won't fix my problem. So here we are in the world. I have it turned off for now, but as soon as I get that fixed, I'll have that turned on. So Zillow leads will automatically be shown on your website. They work with Bold Trail. They integrate, they will show up. Your Google leads or Google reviews, I'm going to show you once we kind of get through this page. Where are we at with time? 10:30. Yeah, we got plenty of time. I'm going to show you once we get done with this tab here, how to do that. You're going to have to manually do them. So I would pick a handful. I don't know that you want to manually do every review. If you have 40, 50 reviews, that's a lot. That's a lot of time, but you may have a handful you can toss in there just so you have some things, for people to scroll through, because this is where it shows up. All of your testimonials are going to show up here, whether they're from Zillow or any manual entries from Google. And here's the thing, more people are doing Google reviews than they are anywhere else. So I wish they would connect with Google, but this is also how you would connect you need to either have your email for Zillow or your screen name for Zillow. And once you have those linked up, it'll start importing your Zillow leads or Zillow testimonials already. You guys, I don't know if you see this. I'm sorry. That's more admin setting. That's for the team, the company website. If you had any background video, YouTube IDs. So I tried this when we first got Bold Trail and set it up, and it messed up my website. So hopefully they fix it since then. I haven't seen anybody that really, we have a couple of agents that do some YouTube stuff, but nobody's really used it for their website. Everybody just kind of leaves it simple and not too crazy. But you could play with that. You can hide the chat widget we don't, unless you have something connected. You can have the ability to use full width widgets. I don't like that. And this is a widget. Okay. Right. This right here, instant listing alerts. That's what the widget is. Get pre-approved. See how they're all separate? But then I have a couple of them that are together. So they're not taking up the full width of the page. I can put two different widgets on one little section of my website. So it's just not constant scrolling to get to everything. But each little section here that pulls in from somewhere else is what your widgets are. That makes sense. You use black color for header, blah, 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 primary color for header. These are just all the crazy thing. Hide office name on homepage. I mean, we have to put our firm, so don't do that. You can use a square image. You can hide the agent cover image, use dark background, use a large background image, custom page links if you want to add some pages. So this is where it's okay. So see where it says search label by. If you go back to the top of the website, you have these here. These are kind of auto default settings, but this I can change the name for this, right? That's where you want to do that, or that's where you can do that. So you can change it from buy to whatever else. Same with sell, finance, resources label, and agents label. Join our firm if you want anybody recruiting. Again, this comes from the parent page. So it's got this button here, but really it should kind of already be there where it just feeds in from the parent page. Hide resources again. Sorry, this is kind of mundane. It keeps going. So I leave the recruiting widget on, but I have this from my agent tab turned off. You can do a carousel. So instead of so instead of this, it could just keep scrolling through pictures and things like that instead of just the exterior picture. I kept it simple and didn't do the carousel because it was kind of a lot going on. You might like the busy, you might like a lot of things happening. But it also displays the full listing address on it, which is fine because once you post it, once you list it in MLS, it's going to show. That's the names of, the sections here. So we got my listings, you got just listed, and that is this carousel that they can just you can go through all the just listeds and then all of the listings that you would have. If you do not have any listings, you can actually pull it. There's a way to pull it into the way to pull the firm listings into that. Maybe it does it automatically. I think actually it does. It'll do it automatically. Okay, so after those carousels, if you have Google Analytics, that's where you would put in your ID. I've been playing with that. Usually that's if you're paying somebody for pay-per-click. Or running any Google campaigns, you would have analytics. If you have a social media manager, things like that, they would have that set up for you. Again, that's more advanced, so not everybody is going to be able to do that. So one thing I did turn off, and again, it's because I'm selfish. The default setting is going to be to show our agents on your page. I turned that off. I don't want them to see our other agents. I want them to use me, right? So I did turn off, well, the inactive agents, I don't think y'all see that one, but the hide agent roster is turned off. So if you're looking at yours now with the default settings, somewhere in here, it's going to be meet our team or something to that effect. And you can turn that off or you can leave it on, up to you. But I think it's like down here somewhere, it'll say meet the team, and it'll have all the agents in our office that are using Bolt Trail listed on there. Homepage, custom tagline, you can do that. I mean, really, if you just read these, you're going to figure out what to do. Remove that. Nope, don't do that. Realtor will yell at you. And you are. Listings type served. So I'm going to add that one. Whatever you specialize in. Now I go ahead and leave commercial even though I'm not because I'm gonna refer it. Um, but anything that, as far as normal that you want shown on there, they're going to be the types of properties that are going to be searchable by customers. If you don't want them to be able to search specific properties, like say, I, don't want them to search business ops because I don't really deal with that. And honestly, there's not a lot in our MLS anyway. It's usually on what Crexy or LoopNet. Um, I'm not going to do it. Commercial lease. I don't deal with that. If they're interested in commercial, I kind of left the general one, but and then I can refer them out. But most of the commercial referrals I get are, word of mouth. But yeah, I did turn on the coming soon because next week or 27th, April 27th, we're gonna be able to see coming soon. So I'm turning those on and I'm going to save it. Every time you change a section, make sure you hit save. Remove duplicate listings if you want to. I should probably turn that on. That's really if you're in different multiple MLSs, like say you're in War and you're in Rain and it's the same listing showing up in both of them. It'll just show one. I have that issue with North Carolina and Virginia because a lot of people advertise in Rain and they advertise in Albemarle. So I think I'm going to turn that on. I think we're going to turn that on. Let's see if it'll save. All right, it's saved. Coverage. This is where you can go in and put in your own coverage by the city, county. I put everything you cover, everywhere you cover. We have a couple of agents that are licensed in Maryland. We've got a few of us licensed in North Carolina. You've got all over the Hampton Roads area. You might go all the way out to Franklin. You might work Gloucester. Make sure you're putting all those in there. Cover everything that you cover, because this is what's going to show up when somebody says, I want an agent in Suffolk, Virginia. Those are the keywords for search. 1039. Okay. Don't scrub areas. Those are all default settings. Hide manual listings on the website. We don't really have manual. Allow them to use polygons so they can pull it by geolocation instead of the MLS area. I'm doing quotes like y'all can see me, but the MLS area, as we know, it's each MLS is going to break down neighborhoods, certain areas, so you can actually use actual geographical. Asia, you had that one that only wanted to be in a couple of neighborhoods, but we might have to extend it from there. So you can create the geolocation for that. And I allow them to do that because if they think they just want a neighborhood, they don't. They want an area, which could be multiple neighborhoods. Default listing. Sort by price if you want to. Listing display. This just keeps going on and on. Hold on. Extra search filters you can add. I think that's defaulted for the MLS area, and that is the end of that one. Woohoo. All right, so now we're on to the testimonials tab. So what I did is I get to the left and I clicked on testimonials. Again, you're on Zillow. You should have this turned on. Mine is not turned on because I'm having problems with Zillow, and it is in the works eventually one day, hopefully before 10 years from now, to be fixed. However, with Zillow, you should be connecting these as long as you can get into Zillow. Connect Zillow reviews to testimonials. You want to do your email or your screen name. Hit save. That is not for you guys. If you want to add any YouTube videos, where is the... I'll try to show you how to use the Google ones. It just repeats everything. Nope, it just went back to, maybe it's under manager. All right, we'll click on the manager. So once you have all that set up, you're in here, you're in the manager tab. This is the basic information. This is where, see where it says testimonials under website content, testimonials. Before I go there, all this box right here, if you need to change anything in this box, that is where we started. That is in your profile settings. You cannot change it. You cannot, you see there's no edit box. You can't change it. You have to change it in profile settings. But anyway, testimonials under website and content. If you view, edit, this is where you're going to add a testimonial. You can easily, you should see that you are connected to Zillow if you had that connected from the previous page. If you want to add your Google reviews, add testimonial. You're going to copy and paste. You're going to copy their name. You're going to copy word for word, copy the entire review, paste, and click add. Now that's going to show up on your website under your testimonials section. That's the only way you can get Google reviews or reviews from anything other than Zillow to show up. You have to manually input them. So what I advise people to do is do a chunk, have a chunk, because it doesn't tell you how many total testimonials I have from any given source. It just allows people to scroll through literally my Google. I copied and pasted from the Google. Now, some of them have their last names on the review, and I abbreviated their last name because privacy. But that's all you got to do there. You get to choose the number of stars they give you. So do your 5-star reviews. But here's the thing, if they go to your Google page and they see that you've altered those reviews in any way, you're going to lose your cred. So don't do that. The other thing I wanted to show you, and if you're interested or want to do something like this, let me know. But you have this Pages tab. And I have created a page. I have it turned on, House Helpers. So I was, for some time now, I've been farming specific types of houses. Obviously, pre-foreclosures, fixer-uppers. I've got investors with cash. They just want to buy. So I've been kind of farming some people to figure out my QR code on those letters and flyers. Go to this landing page. Now, if you're at my website, you see that it says House Helpers. You're not going to really, I guess I could turn it on for that, but I don't have that up here because I want to be able to capture specifically who is responding to that letter or that marketing material that I'm sending out specifically for this campaign. I really want to know what is working, what is not working. So currently only the people that receive this letter can go into this page. They have access to it. And they basically, I combined it with a Google form that they put their information in and submit. And I partnered with Chrissy on this one. To try to farm some neighborhoods and get out there. But this is the landing page for that. And you can create that. It's not that difficult. Like literally they've got templates here. So you could do all templates about guides, resources, landing and lead capture, which is what I did. I think I used this one right here, or maybe this one. Use a template and create a lead capture, a landing page. So that way, when you're doing specific farming neighborhoods and stuff, you can keep an idea of where your marketing time is coming to fruition. Now, keep in mind, when we're farming neighborhoods, it could take 6 months plus before you get results of that, right? So it's a long game kind of thing. But it's a good way that you could keep tabs with who's responding to what type of letter you're sending out, who's responding with what type of campaign that you're running. But you can create these landing pages, you can assign them a QR code and put it in that marketing material. And then you'll know who came from where, if that makes sense. So if you need, we're starting to kind of get at the end of time. So if you need help with that, questions with that, I'll probably do a future class on doing this, how to set that up, because I do like it. I like it a lot. And again, with me knowing where I'm spending my time and what's working and what's not working, that just helps kind of keep it separate. So, but that's it. Oh, the other question a lot of people ask me is if you have your own domain, A lot of us buy our own branded domain names. How to connect these? There's the easy way, which is to go in to whoever, a lot of people have GoDaddy, so you can go into GoDaddy, and once you log in, there is a section that says redirect. I'm not sure where it is in GoDaddy. I can't remember exactly. I would have to be looking at it, and I don't personally have mine through GoDaddy anymore. But you would log in and you redirect the website. So like mine, for example, is this one, tksalesba.com. I want to keep my domain name, so I have that set up. I can put that on any of my marketing materials. And if you go to this website, you see here, it's redirected to my Coastal Town website. That is the free way to do it, the easiest way to do it. The opposite thing that I've been asked by a couple of agents that paid all this money to get some web designer to design their own custom website, and they want this website to go to that website, the Coastal Town one to go to their custom site. That is an add-on through BoldTrail. You have to pay for that. And I don't know the terms of it because, like I said, I tried to teach you guys the stuff that's included. If that is something that you're interested in, you need to click on the little guy down here. I guess this is Monty, the little fox, and start your chat and start getting help. And it can walk you through it. And I believe they set you up with a consultation with one of their people there. But like I said, the easiest way to do it is the way that I did it. I just redirected my domain name to the Coastal Town site so that on all my marketing stuff, it still starts there. And then, say one day you need to change this. It's not BoldTrail anymore. It's something else. Something happens. It's easier to change from that end than the opposite way without messing up some things. So, that's the basics of it. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please let me know. But those are the most questions that I get back. The biggest one is remembering to set up your profile, because the rest of this ain't going to carry over without it. So any questions?
Thank you.
No questions. No notes. You're welcome. You're welcome. Asia, you good? I think a couple of people dropped off. That was boring. All right, I think we're all good. So I'm going to end this. If you guys have any questions, you know that you can always come to me. And other than that, I'm going to stop sharing and y'all have a good day. Bye.